Hi everyone, and thank you for joining me this afternoon. I am back with the weekly giveaway game. I'm sorry I missed yesterday. It was just one of those days. It was hectic, mad hectic, and these videos are taking a little bit longer because I've got so many questions to answer, and so I didn't have time to do it. This is what we have already. All of these goodies in there and all of these goodies in there are already in the giveaway, and we are doing 2 prizes at the moment. Now let me just put that to one side. Put that over there. I do have some news for you. This has been a fantastic giveaway, so much so that I've had many more questions than what I had anticipated, and lots of goodies going into the prizes, that I'm now going to turn it into 3 prizes. Don't worry, there'll still be loads and loads and loads and loads in the 3 piles. So far you've seen that we have all of those goodies. We have, I think, about 20 questions today, and we're not done yet. So I'm going to make 3 prizes now. So all of your names that go in for every single question that gets answered is going into the giveaway, and there will be 3 names pulled out now. So more chances for everyone. I think it's only fair. And plus also it's going to keep the cost of postage down, because these are going to be big parcels. So you'll see what I mean. And I'm going to add lots and lots of goodies, so there will be loads in every prize. So there's going to be 3 prizes now. And have you seen him? You are such a dingbat. You're a dingbat, aren't you? Right, okay, let me grab my list of questions for today. Now, like I said, I think there are nearly 20 questions. I think 18, 19 questions. So lots more things going into the prize. Charles is trying to get my attention. I mean, look, he has to just be centre of attention the whole flipping time, don't you? Right, okay, let's get on with the questions. So lots and lots of you took part, lots of questions. I am just loving your questions, and I'm glad I made you all laugh. And I forgot to say as well, the whole taxi thing, right? I was thinking about this yesterday, and I was telling you about the taxi story, about how I ended up going down the hill in the ice and ended up on the front of the taxi. The one thing I forgot to tell you, right, was that the taxi driver didn't even get out to see if I was okay when I was on the front of his bonnet of his car. And when I got in the taxi, instead of saying, "Are you okay? Are you in pain? Did you hurt yourself?" he went, "Where to?" Like, hello, I just skidded down a hill and landed on the front of your taxi, really hurt myself, and the first thing you could say is, "Where to?" Seriously. I forgot to tell you that. Right, okay. So questions. The first question is from Christine Mortimer, and she has asked, what kind of television programs do you watch? I don't watch an awful lot of TV. I do watch it in the evening with Charmin, but really it doesn't go on till the evening. And the kind of programs I like are, I loved Sherlock Holmes. I love Grey's Anatomy, but I watch Grey's if I do get an hour by myself, because it's not really a Charmin. So I like Grey's Anatomy. I like The Line of Duty. I do like Gogglebox, which is a hilarious program over here in the UK. Love it. And Britain's Got Talent, X Factor. I'm a bit naughty for that. And I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. So I do like those programs. So they're the kinds of things that, and The Voice. So yeah, I like talent shows, definitely. But I also like thrillers. What else was it that I watched? Oh my gosh, I can't think. Oh, Handmaid's Tale, that was good. I do like sort of thrillers and things like that. So that's what I watch. And also, Christine, you said about my cat journal, and asked, was this a fabric cover? Yes, it's a fabric sample that I actually put onto cardstock. So it is fabric, and also made a pocket inside as well. And I don't have the same as this again, but I do have loads of fabric samples. So yeah, that's what it is. It's gorgeous, isn't it? I love the colours on it. Absolutely love it. Right, so let me add something into the prize. So this is what I'm going to add for Christine's question. I'm going to add this little cotton reel, a couple of these little wooden love things, a bow, a cat button, a wooden heart, and a few of these little kitty buttons as well for your projects. So you've got a little bag of goodies there. Okay, you wait to see. Honestly, the pile of goodies that are here is phenomenal. Next question. Okay, Joanne Sanderson, she said, you are a qualified hypnotherapist. Which famous person would you like to hypnotize and why? Oh my gosh. Charles, you're knocking that in the bin. I should have really thought about this beforehand, shouldn't I? Who would I like to hypnotize and why? Oh my gosh, that's a tricky one. That's a tricky one. Who would I like to hypnotize? Famous person. Robbie Williams. I know that sounds a bit daft, but I find him very fascinating, Robbie Williams. I think he's very charming, and I think that actually he would be quite a character to hypnotize. I think he'd be quite funny, actually. But I think from what I've read about Robbie Williams, he's very spiritual, he's very into things like that, and I think he would be very good to hypnotize, but I think he would make me laugh. Yeah, he'd probably fall asleep and snore throughout the whole session, which people do. I remember, actually, funny story, after I'd qualified and I'd started to work as a hypnotherapist, I think it was about the third client that I had. I was, I'm not going to say why they were come to see me, but I was talking and doing my, getting them into a sleep state, and they fell asleep and started snoring. And I'm sort of there thinking, do I just carry on talking? What do I do? And I knew that we had to keep on talking. And I thought, well, I'm going to waste an hour yakking, and they're snoring their head off, and they're not going to know what I've said. So anyway, they slept throughout the whole thing. You're not supposed to wake them up either, but they did wake up. And I sort of was going through things, and they took in every single thing that I said. I've had quite a few people just snore throughout the whole session, and I'm sat there talking, yakking, but it still goes into your state of consciousness. Yeah, interesting fact there. So Joanne, I am going to add a bag of glass beads. Good for dangles and jewellery if you make jewellery. Some lovely glass, I'm not going to get them all out, glass beads there. Right, so Judith McPherson had said that I love gladioli, and will I have them in my bridal bouquet? No, I'm not going to have gladioli in my bouquet because I don't know if you can get them in Greece, because I really don't know, actually. I'm going to have roses and gypsophilia. Is it called gypsophilia? It's that lovely white little buds. I'm sure it's gypsophilia. I might have that wrong. I'd need to know the exact name, actually, but I just took pictures and sent it to my wedding planner. But I'm sure it's called gypsophilia. It's that lovely white spray, and then just some lovely pink roses. So that is what I'm having. And for your question, I'm going to put in these lovely flower appliques. So there's a handful of yellow ones and a lovely big yellow one. So I'm going to add those in there. Right, now the next question is Susie Al Masri. What glue or tape would you recommend for a newbie? Okay, as far as glue, if you're using fabric, and also I use this for card, use this for everything, Fabri-Tac. Brilliant glue, and it's clear, It's very, very sticky. It's really good, and it dries very fast as well. So Fabri-Tac, but it is obviously a bit more expensive. But I know that you're in the UK, Susie. So this tacky glue, I think this is from the range, is very good for cardstock. And paper crafts, definitely. I mean, I love the Stampin' Up Tombow, but again, you know, it's getting it, and it's a little bit more expensive, whereas you can get a big tacky glue, which is very good. But as far as tape, I don't really use double-sided tape that often, but I've never really had a problem with any double-sided tape. But paper crafts, if you're using thin paper, I actually use a glue stick. And I find that the glue stick, especially the Blue Tack one, is just great. You know, if you're using really thin paper, Blue Tack, these are the 3 glues that I have on my desk. Tacky glue, Fabri-Tac, and Blue Stick. Blue Stick or glue stick, or it doesn't have to be the blue one. I get the Blue Tack one, or just get a good brand, really. I mean, I've used other ones, but yeah, those are the 3 that I have on my desk. So that is a very good question, because I think I found out the hard way as well. So for that, I am going to add in this lovely gold applique and one naughty boy cat. Right. Okay. This and that with Michelle. Do you have any weird talents or skills? And I might add, she says that she can tie a cherry stem in a knot with her tongue. So that is a really good talent to have, and I actually tried that once and I could not do it. So yeah. Okay, so do I have any weird talents or skills? I wouldn't say I have any. I used to be able to do the Exorcist voice, you know, the film The Exorcist. I could really try it, but I've got a bad throat and it's not very nice. And I used to scare people with it in the dark. I don't know if I should do it. I can't say what it is because it was swearing, and I don't want you to hear me swear. And should I do a little bit of the impression? I don't know if I should. Okay, this is going to make you laugh, and if you don't like scary things, then just mute me for a minute, okay? I'm just going to do a little bit of it. Please, please, please. Don't judge me for this. This is from like 20 years ago. Okay, ready? Oh, I even scared Charles. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. I really, really am sorry. I'm really sorry. I'm so sorry you asked. The other thing is I can do magic tricks. I can't do it on camera because you'd see. But I did teach myself to do magic tricks to keep the kids occupied and teach the kids magic. So, yes, I can do card tricks. I can do coin disappearing tricks, etc. So I did teach myself. I'm so sorry about that impression, by the way. Please forgive me. But I can do magic as well. So just think about the magic, not the scary voice. Right. I'm probably going to hate this when I hear it back. For that question, I'm going to add these things. I'm so sorry. I'm quite embarrassed, actually. I'm glad you can't see me. Charles, you're going to knock all of these things on the floor. Oh, you are being a little horror. Right, so I've added this lovely applique butterfly on that. And we're going to ignore that answer. Right, okay, Mrs. Stationery and stuff. What's your favourite craft brand? Oh, okay, well, for stamps, I do love Indigo Blue. And I do have a couple of sets of Indigo Blue stamp sets. Love them. And my lovely Christine sent me a stamp set, which I use an awful lot. And I have a couple of other ones from Indigo Blue. I love Tim Holtz as well. So at the moment, I would say, but I also love the We Are Memory Keepers, punch boards and things like that. I have a few of their products. The Crocodile, I also have punch boards, cutting boards. So We Are Memory Keepers, I like as well. Right, okay, so I'm going to add a sheet of these little cute stickers. Great for planners or just for fun little projects. Okay, so Jessie back said, what style do you have in your house? Now, somebody else asked that question as well. So I am going to add in a minute 2 prizes for this question because 2 of you asked the same question. Okay, what kind of style do I have in my house? I'm going to be really openly honest with you. Messy. Messy is my style, and I'll tell you why. I don't want to make it too long-winded, but those of you that know me quite well know I have an illness, okay? And I've been ill for quite a lot of years, and I have, like, how I describe it is I have a tank of diesel, a tank of energy, and I have to decide how to use that tank of energy. So obviously the first thing, it would go on my daughter and my grandkids, and then whatever I've got left will now go on charming, and then my crafts, because my crafts are very therapeutic, as well as my family. So my house kind of, oh my gosh, has probably been neglected, and I'm in the process of getting some of it decorated. My front room's been done now, my kitchen's been done, but to me, I feel that if you have a certain amount of energy or whatever, you've got to, you know, put it in the where it's what's going to make you most happy. And spending time with my grandkids and my daughter and my love of my life and doing my crafting, for me, beats the housework. Not the housework, but decorating the house. And when I first moved into this house 7 years ago, I was really, really ill, and it never got decorated. Things just got put off. And we are planning on moving, so things have been put on hold. But I do like shabby chic. I do, when we move, I would like to sort of start from a blank canvas and have very light rooms, very white, but with colour in your fabric and the curtains and drapes. And you know, I would like to have loads of fabrics and dried flowers and, you know, that shabby chic whitewashed repurposed furniture, and that is ideally what I would like. This house just is nowhere near like that, and I think because we're planning on moving, we're not putting that energy into that, because why would you spend money doing it all up when we're going to move anyway? So messy at the moment is my style, but that isn't what I want it to be. I would love shabby chic sort of style. So I'm going to add in two things because there's 2 questions. So I'm going to put in a real, please excuse my naughty boy cat, I will cover over his dignity, a reel of washi tape, and I have 2 handmade tags that need a bit more decorating and a bit more love to them, but I thought that you'd have fun. This is an old vintage book, so I shall add those into there. I'll mention the other name in a minute when I get to it, who asked the same question. Then we have Crafty Mama. Did you ever go and watch in person the procession of any of the royal weddings? Very good question. The answer is no. Even though I lived in London, it wasn't really at the time of any of the weddings or anything like that. So no, I haven't seen any. Did love watching them on the TV though. I have seen the Queen when it was Royal Jubilee. That was so many years ago. What was it? Something like 1975. I was 8 years old. And I remember her going down the street, driving down the street in our town, and we all had our flags out, and we had street parties, and oh, it was lovely. I am a little bit of a royalist, but I do love, you know, listening to the royal family and finding out what's going on. So for that question, I am going to put some more of my wallpaper snippets in, and there's a little bundle here of lovely, gorgeous wallpaper, and I just thought, well, these could be used. I'm not going to throw them away because these are very, very beautiful, and there's some really lovely pieces here that you could turn into pockets, tags. So there are a few of those to go in there. So, and thank you everyone for your questions. Honestly, it means the world. Now, Sue Harvey actually has 2 questions because I missed her question out from Tuesday, Wednesday, I can't remember what day it was, and her question from the other day was, do you do tutorials on your junk journals. I have done some, and I do plan on doing a start to finish one to help you all out and to show you what I do. But it'll probably be after the wedding now, because it will need to be like a little mini series. But I do have some, if you go back a couple of months or 3 months, 2-3 months, where I do have some bits and pieces to do with the junk journals. And definitely I'll be doing pages in the journals, and I have done a few videos on that, but you might have to go back and have a look. But I do plan on doing more, I promise you. It's just at the moment it's just been so hectic, and I've got so much to do, and I'm trying to work my way through my AliExpress shopping spree and trying to get that out of the way and planning the wedding. So yes, that is the answer to that. So that is her question from the other day, and I have some lovely envelopes which are really, really cute, and you can write on them, look, as well, and put them in your journaling things. I don't know if you can see that. And then this one has lines on it, so we're going to add that in for her question from the other day. And her question today is, do you have any other hobbies other than crafting? I think my other hobby would be collecting old ephemera and going to definitely going to car boots and thrift shops and collecting, you know, collector shops, vintage shops. I love car boots, absolutely love car boots, but love going because I like to find craft items. But I also love collecting old ephemera photos, old letters, newspapers, books, old bookshops. I love going around old bookshops. So that is definitely a hobby of mine. And this is an interesting thing I'm going to add in. I'm going to add in one of these water pens, you know, stop it, for when you're doing watercolouring and you fill it with water and it's got a brush on the end. Ow! So I'm going to add one of these because I had 3 and I thought I don't need 3. So I'm going to put one of those in for you. So if you haven't had a go at watercolouring, stop it, naughty boy, you can. Next question. Do you do tutorials on your junk journals? Oh no, I've read that one out. What am I on about? I'm so sorry. I've just done that one. Christine's cards and things was the same question, as in, do you have any other hobbies other than crafting? So I'm going to add in this time card. I knew I got confused because I wrote 2 down for Sue Harvey. So I'm going to add that in because Christine's cards and things had the same question as well. And Aubrey, now she asked, she first said, love seeing your cat journal, and how do you get inspired for a new page? Really, as far as inspiration for new pages and things like that, let me give you an idea. So this is my cat journal, and let me go to this one because this is a prime example of how I get inspired. So I was in my local Asda, okay, and I was at the checkout. I was just about to pay, and in front of me was all the gift cards, you know, in a row. And this was a gift card pocket, and I saw it and I thought, oh my gosh, that will make a brilliant pocket for my junk journal. It can be as simple as that. And then I bought this trim, and I just thought that would work really well. And what I do is, if I find something like this pocket, I'll bring it home and I'll pull out my little basket of scraps, like scrap edging and scrap laces and things like that, and then I will match up the trim to whatever it is that I found, and then I'll match it up to one of the pages. Excuse me. So how am I inspired? I guess I just see something and think, oh, that would work really well. Let me see if I can find, like, this was a cutout just from a regular book, and I was going through some books and it had cats on it, and there was this little cat, and I thought, I cut them out. I just cut them out, and I was just looking at them and thought it would be really cute just to put on the edge of a page. Again, this is a book. This is a little Tom Kitten. Is it Tom Kitten? Book, Tom Kitten book, Beatrix Potter, and the pages are quite diddy, and I thought all I've got to do is glue them down and cut out a circle, and there's a ready-made pocket. And then I used one of the other pages, and I thought, well, it's near enough good to go, so I just put on some tea stained paper and just put a little bit of old vintage paper and just a little tag topper sort of thing, not tag topper, what would you call it, a tag pull out thing on it. And it was as simple as that. And then what I just do is I just come back to my journal that I've already made, because I'll make a journal first, so it's just got blank pages with different pages in, book pages, etc. Excuse me. And then when I find things to go in it, I'll just then bring those things to my junk journal and have a look to see where I think it will look nice. But I will be doing more on my junk journals and how I get inspired and how I put it together, and a little bit more on that, because that probably needs to go into more detail with that. But it's a great question. So what I'll do when I get inspired another day with something that I find, I'll pop on the video and I'll go through that process with you. So that was really a great question, as all of your questions are. So I am going to add in, let's have a look here what we can add in here for you next. So I have these, oh, I'm sure I've got more. Here they are. These are some more of those Hobbycraft book pages. They're like little just sheets of different things, and these are like a travel theme. So I'm going to pop these in here. There's 4 or 5 of those. One's atlasy ones. This one says Spirit and Adventures. This says Forever Young. So I'll pop those in there. And the next question is, Seri asked, what is the best craft item you've made so far? Okay, I did have to have a not hard think about this, but I know exactly the answer to that. Many years ago, about 10 years ago now, I started up a group on a website called Ravelry.com, and it was a group called Let's Make the Gift of a Healing Blanket. And excuse me, how it came about was my foster sister, she unfortunately got cancer, and I knew she was going to go through chemotherapy and radiotherapy and that, and so I wanted to make her a blanket. I love to crochet, but I was ill myself, so I knew that I couldn't get the blanket made in time, a granny square blanket, in time for when she started this chemo. So I was already on Ravelry, and I love that site. It's great for patterns, etc. So I started up a group, and I asked people to help me and to send. What they did was they would send me a granny square or granny squares, and we would put them together and make healing blankets for people. It started off with the one for my sister, and I had such a great response that I carried on the group, and every month I had about 200 people that had joined. Everyone would make one granny square, send it to me. I would crochet them all together to make a big blanket, and we would send them out to people that needed them. And some people, unfortunately, were terminally ill, or people were suffering bereavement, or, there's lots of reasons why someone would need healing. And I thought, if everyone put their healing energies into what they were doing, that's like 100, 200 people, 120 squares, I think I used to put in a blanket. That's 120 people that have put their healing energies in to sending them off. And I made about 20 altogether, but unfortunately I then became very ill myself, that I couldn't maintain it or keep up with it. But those blankets were probably the best things that I made, because I know that even after people had them passed away, that blanket then stayed in the family and gave comfort to that person bereaving the person who needed it in the first place. So that is my answer to that. And I will try and find some photos, but it's on an old external hard drive, so I need to find them, and I will share them with you one day when I find them, I promise. So for that, I am going to put some of these. This says a day for me, date list. These are great to just make pages or slip them in journals and to make some projects out of. Right, okay, so Jackie McFall asked, do you believe in ghosts and have you ever seen one? Yes, I do believe in ghosts. I'm very spiritual, and I believe more in that spirit energies are around all the time. You know, I've had loads of things happen, and I'm not going to go into that. But as far as seeing a ghost, excuse me, I think I have seen one, and it was my ex's grandmother, I believe. I was asleep in bed one morning, woke up, I was half awake, half asleep, and I turned to my side and I saw this lady who I didn't recognise, and the minute I turned and sort of looked to see her properly, she went. And I'd explained this to my ex, and he said, oh my gosh, you've described my grandmother. But that's the only, you know, ghost that I could say that I've seen. But I do believe in them. Yes, most certainly I do. So for that question, I am going to add in a couple of my handmade cards that used to be in my card tutorial. So we've got two lovely cards here. Life may not be the party we had hoped for, but while we're here, we may as well dance. What a lovely card sentiment. Right, okay, Pinky Noble. Okay, she asked, what was the most negative comment you ever received regarding your videos on your YouTube channel? Now, thank goodness, I've been very, very lucky. I've never really had that many negative things said. I actually haven't. I can honestly say that. And I can't really think of anything that was really nasty. I did have somebody say to me, though, that my nails were very off-putting. I had them really, really long, and they said that they didn't like my nails, and that they couldn't see what I was doing because my nails put them off. But, you know, that's someone's opinion. It wasn't really, I wouldn't say it was horrible, but that's probably, you know, if I think about it, the most negative thing I've had said to me. I've never really had anything bad. I have been very, very lucky in that respect. So I am going to add some lovely gold fabric that can be used on projects, and it is just yummy. So thank you, Pinky, for that question. Then we have Alicia Hayes, who she asked, what is your decorating style? So I did add two things to the pot for that. Now Tracy Dale asked, if you were stuck in a lift with just one person, who would you like it to be? Oh my goodness, who would I like to be stuck in a lift with? It has to be somebody interesting, or somebody that wouldn't bore you, and someone that you could, oh my gosh, do I just have to have one person? Oh, I don't know. I'm gonna say Barry Manilow, and I'm sorry, I just think because he's my idol, and I just guess I would love to know him more, and I would love him to be there for as long as he could, and spend time with him and chat with him. And I think he's quite funny and charming, and I'd get him to definitely do a little dance for me because he's a funny dancer. Yeah, I know that's probably not an interesting answer, but he was the first person that come to mind. Who would I want to be stuck in a lift with? Barry Manilow. He was my first person that I adored and had a huge crush on him when I was younger, and he's the only person I've seen in concert, and I just love him. I love Barry. Right, okay, Charles, you're losing my bits I've got to put in here. What are you doing? Right, Charles is being an absolute pain as normal. I am going to put in some of these lovely love pegs. So we've got this lovely one with the gold, and a lovely one or with flowers in. So we're going to add some little pegs into there. Right, Star Dove asked, how long have you had Charles and how old is he? Yes, we're talking about you. I have had him for about 3.5 years. He is, I didn't have him from a baby, and when I took him to the vets after I had him, they reckoned he was about 6 months old. So he's about 4 now. So he's still a baby. He is still a little baby, and definitely from his actions and how naughty he is, I would definitely say he is still a baby kitten. He acts like one anyway. So I'm going to add in this star sort of background foil. Lovely. It's all bendy and yummy. And some of this lovely gold. I don't know what you would call this. It's just lovely. I love it. It's almost like a web sort of gold. It's just got, it feels like that stuff that you iron on, interfacing, but it's got a lovely web sort of lovely feel to it. So I'm going to put that in as well. Now we have Thurid Stevenson. She asked, which is your favourite actress? I'm going to say Julia Roberts. I love Julia Roberts. I think she's funny. I think she's beautiful. She always makes me laugh. And out of all the films that I watch, I think Julia Roberts is probably one of the most watched films, you know, someone that's been in a lot of films that I've watched. So I'm going to say Julia Roberts. She's funny and she's quirky and she's adorable. So Julia Roberts is the answer to that. Now I'm running out of things to put in here. I did a big stack before I came on and did this. So I'm going to add some more book pages. And there's this, that's a funny one to add in. It's bats. And some lovely flower pages from a lovely flower book. So you can definitely use these for little projects. Really colourful flowers for you to have fun with. Some pages there. Now Debbie L asked, where in America did I live? It was in answer to a question the other day, and I used to live just outside of Tampa, Florida. I lived in a place called Riverview, Florida, and I lived there for about 9 months. I did like it, but I didn't drive, so it's quite hard because you can't really walk in that heat. But it was beautiful. It was a lovely place. It was just near cold water, something like that. Oh, it was just outside of Tampa anyway. But there's some beautiful beaches, you know, quite nearby. Just absolutely lovely. So yes, Tampa, Florida. So I am going to put in there, I have some more bits and pieces here. I have these lovely little cards. This one says, what's my spirit animal? There. And this one says, my perfect date would be. This one says, what's my fave film? So there's some little fun cards to add in there as well. And okay, so that was the I've put that one in for Debbie L. So sorry, I had to pause you for a moment then, because my phone was going. Right, I have one last question from It's My Playhouse. And the question is, what is your favourite funny story that you would be willing to share? Okay, right, now that kind of goes hand in hand with the embarrassing moments that Joanne asked about. I've had so many things happen, honestly, and as you know, you've heard some funny ones already. There is another one which really sprang to mind when you said about your funny stories. Now, I have to give you a little bit of a run up to this because I was working in advertising. So I'm sat in my office one day and it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm doing a sales call and I used to sell advertising space. And I spoke to the manager of a company and I was trying to get him to buy some advertising space for his company. And basically he headhunted me and said, would I be interested in a job? It was far more money than what I was earning. Now, I worked in a place called Hitchin, and they were in a place called Surbiton, Surrey, which is like a 2-hour 2 hours to get there, the other side of London sort of thing. But the money was good, and I thought, okay, I'm interested. So anyway, to cut a long story short, he said, we'll set up an interview date, but we're having a Christmas party because it was Christmas time. We'd like you to come along tonight, get to meet everybody. So I'm at work, right, at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Obviously don't want my boss to know or anything because I could be leaving. So I waited, finished my job at 5:30, arranged a babysitter, rushed home, got quickly showered, got changed, and headed over to London for 8 o'clock. Yeah, I know, unbelievable. I made it. And we were having a meal. It was a meal. And then once the meal had finished, they cleared away all of the tables, and it turned into a dance floor, and it's like a disco with a DJ. The lights went down, the strobe lights came on, flashing lights, you name it. And the music come on. I had a couple of drinks to kind of break the ice, as you do. And people got up to dance, and I was talking to Sledge, because come on, have a dance. So I got up, I was having a boogie, and one of the guys from the office that I just met, who I only just met, come running over to me and said, he had his jacket in his hand, and he said, I think you might want to put this jacket on. And I'm looking at him thinking, oh, why? I'm having a good time, I'm dancing, what's happened? Have I split my dress? You know, what's gone on? Anyway, I looked down, and oh my goodness me, I had rushed home to get changed that night. And what I'd done is I'd got out the shower, put on a white bra and knickers, put on a black dress, just didn't coordinate because I was in a hurry, and my white bra and thong was just fluorescently showing up, and that's all everyone could see was me dancing in this bra and knickers. They couldn't see me dress. I mean, you know, I don't know if you've ever been in a disco and when the lights come on and you have all the little white specks. My bra and knickers was all you could see, honestly. Anyway, I was super embarrassed, but wore the guy's jacket and everything. And to cut a long story short and make it as quick as I can, I went for the interview a few weeks later, got the job, and on my first day in the office, I walked in and it was all guys. I was the only salesperson, female salesperson, and they said, oh, there's your desk over there. And I walked across, and when I turned around, where the big whiteboard is on front of you, where they would write down the sales targets, etc., was a big blown up picture of me. And even though I had a black dress on, all you could actually see was blonde hair and a white bra and thong. And I'd looked at it and I went, you could have got my right side. And I just got on with it because I just thought, oh my gosh, do you know what I mean? And we had a laugh about it, and it's a really funny story now because I can laugh about it. But at the time I was mortified, but you just have to get on with it. So yes, I was dancing in my bra and my knickers. Yes, I was, Giles, wasn't I? So thank you so much for that question. And what I'm going to add in here is another handmade card. So as you can see, we have another great big, huge pile here. Now, all of your names are going to go in there. Some of you have got 3 entries now. I'm going to do one more day of questions because we're now doing 3 piles of 3 giveaways. And look how many we've added. Look at all this we've added today. I need to go in my craft room and sort out another load of goodies. Tomorrow will be the last day of questions. So make it count. Thank you so much to everyone that has took part. I'm loving this. And then we will tomorrow, I'll put your names in and we will draw out the 3 winners as well. Answer the questions and draw out the 3 winners. So thank you so much for all of your questions. I'm having so much fun here. And I will see you back here again tomorrow. Take care for now. Bye-bye.